Houston Texans finished up with Nick Caley in his introductory press conference. I give you the latest. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. You won't find anybody with more passion speaking about your favorite Houston sports teams than this guy right here. Astros, Rockets, Texans. I try to do it all. So go down in the comment section. Let me know, how are you feeling after the press conference, the introductory conference with Nick Caley, your newest offensive coordinator coming from the LA Rams, spent 2 years there, 8 years with the New England Patriots. And I think my immediate reaction was, man, that's refreshing. Like, wow, okay. Nick Caley sounds, again, keyword sound, he sounds very intuitive. He sounds like a smart individual. John Carroll University graduate, so obviously there's a connection there with between him and Nick Casario, between just that as well as coaching with the New England Patriots. D'Amico Ryan said that he is the one that hired Nick Caley. I think that's also true at the same time, considering D'Amico Ryans has played against the LA Rams, and yeah, he didn't play against them the last 2 years, but knowing that he has an indirect connection with Sean McVay in some sort of fashion, and Sean McVay is good friends with Matt LaFleur, who's currently the head coach with the Green Bay Packers, you can assume that there is an indirect connection between him and Nick Caley. Nick Caley is going to be retaining a lot of this offensive staff, but he is bringing over from the LA Rams Jerry Shuplinski. This is coming from Aaron Wilson. And as we all know, we got promotion for Cole Popovich, who is the assistant O-lines coach, now the current offensive lines coach. He had talked about his relationship with Cole Popovich, them two working together in New England, mentioned that the offensive line and the sets and everything, that it's all going to start with the 11 man, 12 man, 13 man. However, communication is obviously a key thing. He mentioned accountability is another thing that he had mentioned. This is just several adjectives that he talked about when discussing how he can work with the offensive line. What can he do to fix it? Free agents. Talked about guys that he wanted for free agents. D'Amico obviously not going to talk about who the Texans are looking at for free agents or anything specific. Nick Caley just mentioned the guys that he would want on his scheme for players. Someone that is, and here I have it because it's funny, tough, unselfish, and dependable. And when Nick Caley talks, it's very funny because it sounds extremely similar to the New England Patriots kind of verbiage. It sounded like he was about to drop an STD on me. Pause. Smart, tough, dependable, the Bill O'Brien acronym that was running rampant amongst the Houston Texans fan base. You suck too! Hey, you suck too! I was almost there with Nick Caley. Got me a little, okay, stop it. Don't do that. Don't you do that, Nick Caley. Don't you damn do that. And he almost did. He had a tough, unselfish, dependable. Then he talked about the tight end position and called it smart, tough, competitive. He's almost there. He's literally on the ledge there. Shout out to him, though. I thought he did a fantastic job of answering these questions. Welcome to Houston, by the way. And then the one question and the answer that stood out the most was the one from Landry Locker. And shout out to Landry Locker, by the way. I mean, the locker room. I didn't know he had those moves like that, man. I didn't know he had that kind of pull when it came to the media questioning, to the press conferences. Landry Locker got that pull apparently, man. 3 questions in a row. Shout out to Landry Locker, man. I'm made me go, oh, okay. 3 questions in a row. Okay, this man making money moves out here. The locker room is definitely running rampant amongst the press conference. It was pretty funny to see him get that 3 questions in a row. I know John McClain was probably seething.
It's my turn. It is. You told me it was my turn.
You can talk all that you want to, yell and scream. You lost.
It is my turn.
You lost the game.
It's my turn.
Because he got that 3rd question off. Very hilarious to me. He hit it with the D'Amico and Nick Caley got a question for both of y'all, and then I got a follow up. Like, oh damn, okay, that's something I wrote down and make sure if that day ever happens for me, one day it will, and that day ever happens, okay, I already know what to do. I got a question for you, and then I got a follow up for one of them. And you can't overstep with a fourth question. Shout out to Landry for getting that one done. But he had talked about, what scheme is it going to be? Is it going to be the Patriots scheme? Is it going to be the Rams scheme? Nick Caley talked about spending 8 years with Bill Belichick, spending 2 years with Sean McVay. Also talked about the differences between both of them. Ultimately, both guys being ultra competitors, but highlighting differences between them. Sean McVay being a very passionate coach. That is something D'Amico Ryans mentioned about Nick Caley, and as a reason why he hired him was that you can feel the passion and you can feel the energy that bursts off of Nick Caley. Nick Caley looks like a future head coach, by the way. But let me hold my horses here for a minute. But again, let's go back to Landry Locker, who asked that question about what scheme is this going to be. And then Nick Caley, with a great answer, talked about this is going to be Houston's scheme and that he is not going to try to fit a square peg in a round hole, that he is going to game plan this scheme around the players and what best suits the players. And that just was refreshing. And it felt like music to your ears. It felt like Nick Caley sounds like he knows what he's going to do. And it sounded like, okay, this man has a grip on what he can improve for the Houston Texans offensively. And it doesn't sound like Bobby Slowick, where it just felt like, well, I guess I can just do this. Oh, good. Hey, guys, I just found out Joe Mixon, by the way, was a good receiving back. Whereas Nick Caley talked about Joe Mixon, the adjectives to describe him: violent and competitive. Really highlighted Joe Mixon, talked about establishing the run game. Big tight end guy because he was a former tight ends coach. Says, I love tight ends. Pause. I love tight ends. Nick Caley, definitely somebody that, again, sounds like he knows what he's doing. Seems like the Texans made a really good decision, and we'll hold our horses in terms of the expectations now, because there's a lot to get done with this offense, a lot of retooling to get done with this offense, and I think more confident now with the Nick Caley hire than I was before. Y'all let me know, what is the confidence level after hearing him talk at the introductory press conference? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.